Hey guys, I wanted to just share something this today about, well, kind of about my dog again. So I wanted to share with you my sock pile. These are my unmatchies. It looked like those were matchies, but they were not. These are my unmatchy socks. So I have actually like this many pairs of socks that I cannot find matches to. That's a crazy amount. Why? How did this happen? I kept thinking about that until one day my husband says, look at that. The dog just keeps taking one sock outside at a time. And I thought, boom, that's what it is. Our dog gets excited to see us. He picks up a sock from wherever, laying on the floor, wherever he finds them, he seems to find those socks and he gets excited and he wags his tail. Well, then sometimes those end up outside in our backyard. So apparently we have a lot of socks somewhere in our backyard. But I was thinking about that and I was like, wow, that's a lot like John 10:10. The thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. And he does it sometimes one sock at a time. He sneaks it out the door. So what does that mean? It's like one little thing at a time. Sometimes it's one thought at a time, one belief at a time. And over in John 10:27, it actually says, my sheep hear my voice and I know them and they follow me. But it doesn't say my sheep only hear my voice. So, in other words, we can always hear the voice of the Lord, but there's another one who's speaking, and that is the enemy, right? And so, as he's speaking, we have to understand that that is a different voice in our mind. So, if it's a negative thought that comes in, we have to take it captive and make it obedient to Christ, because little by little, if we don't do that, if we don't recognize it. And then I just wanted to share Romans. It's one of my favorite scriptures, 12:2. I'm going to actually read 1 and 2. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. And so we renew our minds. It's a renewing, it's a continual process. And then as we do that, we understand the perfect will of God. Over here in Psalm 51, most people know that that is when David was just in a lot of sin. He got together with Bathsheba, who was married to Uriah. Then he committed murder against Uriah by having him sent out on the front lines. And once he realized his sin, because the other thing, when these things in our life go little by little, it can harden our hearts. And that's what happened to David. His heart got hard. Little by little, he was hardened to his sin. And so this psalm, he comes before the Lord, finally ready to bring himself before the Lord. And I love what it says. It says, have mercy upon me, O God, in Psalm 51:1. And that means that mercy means bend or stoop into kindness and into have favor upon. So sometimes we see this harsh God and he's like, oh, have mercy on me. And even we can view the word mercy like, oh, God, just have mercy on me. And he's like, come and stoop down, bend down and have favor on me. So he's basically like calling himself back into relationship with God. He's like, come and stoop down. I messed up. Please tenderly come and tend to me, is basically what he says. According to your loving kindness, according to the multitude of your tender mercies, blot out my transgression. So the tender mercies is like an extension of the womb, or a cherishing the fetus, or compassion. So it's like a pregnant mama just loves that baby on the inside of her. That's what God's tender mercies are like. God, we are an extension of God. We are that extension. That's so amazing. So when we have a right perspective of God, it just changes everything. And then over in, let's see, Psalm 50, it says, gather my saints together to me. Verse 5, those who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And this sacrifice here says It's like a slaughter of our flesh. And that sounds so intense. But God is basically saying, like, come away from the pattern of this world, which sees everything in the natural. Come away from that, slaughter that flesh, slaughter that viewpoint, and come into relationship with me and see me as a God of tender mercies. See me as an extension. See yourself as an extension of me, and how I will bend down, swoop down low, and pull you near and love you back into a right relationship. And so I just wanted to encourage you today, if you're struggling with something, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to change? God is saying, yes, know me. Know me. And he is showing you, and continue to renew your mind to his goodness. It makes such a difference. All right, guys, take care.